Hey, Money Magicians, how are you? So I'm smiling, but really inside, I'm just like a mess. I am heading to, I'm still in Sri Lanka. Oh, look around. So this is my Bangladesh place in Colombo. She's got this really gorgeous place. It's beautiful. And for the retreat, she'll be hosting us one night. So we're going to come here for probably have dinner, sleep here, have breakfast, and maybe head to the airport or get lunch and head to the airport afterwards. So everyone that comes to the retreat will eventually meet Mangala and come here. So Sri Lankans have the most insanely, some Sri Lankans, should I say, or most Sri Lankans, I don't know how to phrase that, have like these amazingly massive houses, right? And yeah, it's just really, really beautiful. I always feel welcome here. It's been kind of crazy, so I can't believe I'm doing this video and receiving, because the last few days in Sri Lanka, I feel like so many people have just been giving. And even now, Mangala's like, no, Van, I never want you to book and to pay. Like, you're like my family. You should just come stay. I'm just like, no way, Mangala, you know? That actually, as I'm doing this, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you know? Receiving can sometimes be such not so easy, right? Like, I always think the things that I teach, I am so there. Like, I so understand this work. I'm so getting it. And then life will keep throwing me things that will require me to really take the lessons, right? So since I've been in Sri Lanka, so much is happening. Like, even with the venues, one of my friends just started a WhatsApp group where he's got his company and team now looking into venues for me. And I'm just like, okay, this is kind of crazy. But I've experienced so much of that in Sri Lanka, where people are like actively just willing to give without anything in return, I feel, you know? So at least that's been my experience. Most tourists say like they have a completely different experience, but I think also that's been my lesson, right? So it's about receiving. Thank you so much, Mangala. So Mangala just made me passion fruit juice. I can drink from the garden. So this all comes from the garden. So passion fruit / grenadilla that she grows. Oh, so guys, if you're coming for the retreat, I completely forgot to tell you, everything that we eat at Mangala's place is grown from her garden. Even the pillows that she makes, she grows her own cotton to make, to put into pillows. It's intense. And she owns this organic farm where they farm organic fertilizer and all sorts of things. It's really epic. So yeah, I know the people in Sri Lanka are doing, like the people that I've met are doing some pretty epic things. So yeah, I really adore Sri Lankan. So long and short of it, let me just have a sip. Oh my God, this is amazing. So anyway, the long and short of it is, when it comes to receiving, it's really difficult. So if you're anything like me, where people like giving and giving. So Michelle, you say, hello, happy Monday. Hi, Michelle, happy Monday. I won't lie, like I'm smiling, but I'm not at my happiest, because a part of me is a little worried about my journey to Vietnam and everything, that I'm going to do a little bit more work. I've already planned to just sit a little bit more in meditation so that I can lean into the worry and accept it, right? Because I think there's nothing I can do. So it will be what it's going to be. Either the airline is going to work with me when I get to the airport, or they not, or I'm going to split my baggage into hand luggage and pay the bare minimum for the full baggage and get my 30-day refund later. And my visa hopefully will come through by the time I'm in Kuala Lumpur, so that I can board the airport to get the plane to Vietnam. But anyway, long, that's a whole nother drama that's going on in my world, right? Oh, and probably before I leave Sri Lanka, I'll have sorted out the venues. So the great thing is I have all the venues sorted for the first retreat. The second retreat, I'm still negotiating. So phew, that's kind of like, I've had to split venues because I literally cannot afford the, the company won't make much of a profit if I do if I take the one venue that I want for both things. So luckily I had two venues that my heart couldn't decide between. So yeah, so I'll negotiate for the one retreat before I leave and get invoices for that. So it's so much, but it's okay. Anyways, back to receiving. So on receiving, as we're being given, and I get so many people say to me, message me and say, but I have aunts, uncles, I've got friends, like amazing friends, cousins, etc. Everyone who has contributed to make me who I am today. So I owe them. Right, and they use those words. I owe them. They gave me so much, and I owe them. Hey, Nantlantla, right? So they say things like they gave me so much, but I owe these people. So guys, this is really deep, and I'm going to explain why we want to be open to receiving, because in African culture, it is, in our culture, especially South Africa, and I guess most of African culture, I see it also in Asian culture, it's so noble to keep that feeling of owing someone. So when someone has given you something, you hold on to the idea that you owe them. Here's why you need to allow yourself to receive. It's one thing to say, I receive and I will gift eventually, but to let it go and just allow yourself to receive the gifts that you've been given instead of thinking that I'm receiving, but I owe this person. Because the minute you step into that energy of owing, just imagine what you're telling the universe. I am indebted to this person. Now you have created energetic debts and you're holding yourself indebted to other people. So energetically in the Akashic records, everywhere, you're saying in your Akashic records that you're owing people and you're keeping yourself in this energy of debt. So you may not physically owe someone, right? You may not, with the family members, the aunts, the uncles, your mom, your dad. And yes, people even message me and say, I owe my mom and my dad. I used to think the exact same way, but my dad okay, so my dad is a little like me, right? So he's pretty much very, very cool. So he just out of the blue one day sat me down and was like, I know you think you owe me, but the duty of a parent is that I wanted to do this for you. And because he had given me so much money to go study in the US, and he'd given me a third of my fees for the US, right? So, and he'd given them to me cash. So he'd given me like 35,000 US dollars or something ridiculous. And oh my gosh, And I know that some of it he had to take out debt. And he said to me, oh, I paid that back within a year, so don't even worry about it. Like, you don't have to feel like you owe me, because that energy of owing, you'll carry it on. And how does one ever repay a parent? How does one ever repay an aunt or an uncle? And my dad told me that. He's like, there's nothing to repay, because some debts are so massive that you can't actually repay. But if I keep going through life with this energy of I owe him, then when will I ever get to live my life? And that helped me a lot, especially because he said it right after I graduated from the MBA program. And in my head, I was like, I owe my dad. And he just basically was like, please don't even bother ever paying me back. Don't ever think that you have to pay me for anything. And that kind of helped me. But as I see more and more people feel like they owe parents, we owe people. Yes, you can say, I want to gift them, but to repay and to owe people that have given you with an open heart, that is keeping yourself energetically in the energy of debt. And in the Akashic records, you keep repeating that, and you're basically creating debt on a very spiritual level. So most of us then wonder, why are we not able to hold on to money? That's because we've got energetic debts that we've created. So, and we keep wondering, why do we keep creating debt? That's because you keep saying, I owe so-and-so, I'm owing this person, I owe this person, I need to repay this person. So energetically, you have these debts that you've created with your thinking, with your energy levels, that you've told your subconscious mind, that you've put out into the spiritual world. So they need to show up. This energy of owing needs to show up in the real world as a debt. I hope this is making sense. So this is why we need to open ourselves up to truly receiving, because most of us don't receive. We receive and instantly we think, I need to repay that. Whatever someone has given me, oh, I instantly owe that person. If that person has given me a necklace, or this person has paid for my schooling and they said this is a gift, at the back of my head, I say, oh, I owe that person. I need to repay them for this and this and this. So energetically, we've already created these debts, and we're not allowing ourselves to peacefully receive and be in receiving mode. Right? So then the debts have to show up in this owing energy we have, has to show up in the real world. So that's, I think, one of the major reasons why we need to open ourselves up to receiving and allow ourselves to receive energetically and be in receiving mode. And so then there's people that say to me, well, people actively do remind me what they have done for me in my life, and so I do actually owe them. Then what I actually suggest is you have these conversations with people. I kid you not, like I've had to have conversations with like this when I felt like, oh, I owe someone and maybe that wasn't really a gift and I'm not comfortable accepting it as a gift. Then you seat the people down and you say to them, you know, was this a gift or do I have to repay you? Because most of us are saying, I owe that person, we think it was a gift, but then we keep delaying the repayment of it. Rather, if it is indeed something that you owe and it is a debt, it has to go down in your list of debts as something that you need to repay, so that you understand the concrete amount and you get yourself out of that energy of I owe and that energy of debt, so that you can clear the debt and it completely leaves your energy system and your psyche, so you don't keep repeating it and keep creating debts in the physical realm, right? And I hope this makes sense. Let me know if this resonates, guys, because this is really something that I had to learn. And so apart from receiving, there's also the other aspect of forgiving people, right? So another way that we create debt is we feel that others owe us. Right? So this is also very deep. It's not just that we owe other people in terms of we've been given something we need to repay, so we keep ourselves in that energetic debt. Then we also believe that other people owe us. So one of two things needs to happen there. You either need to forgive that, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be money. Most times it can be that we feel that people owe us an apology even. So that's a debt of sorts, right? Because it's something that hasn't been paid to us. So we keep ourselves in this energy of owing and lack. And this part of the forgiveness, I learned from Michael Beckwith, right? So I started to understand, he had this interview with Oprah and he was sharing how forgiveness is the key, that sometimes we keep ourselves in blame mode because we don't want, and in that blame mode, we feel like people are owing us an apology, and that feeling that we are owed something keeps us in debt because we are waiting on people to pay us. So we're still operating from an energy of being in debt because others are owing us something. So we're creating these energetic debts. So rather forgive, right? So that's why forgiveness is also the key. So it's not just about the fact that it's about the receiving, but it's also about allowing us to, for ourselves to forgive so that we can clear that debt energetically. And I can truly say this, I want to actually interview one of the Heart, Mind, Money course students. So yeah, I have two courses, right? So the Money Magic, and one was before the Live with Intention course that I'm now calling, that's now the Heart, Mind, Money course, because I realized that I would go through the Heart, Mind, Money book and basically create the lessons from the book. I would like go deeper based on those lessons. And one of the students on there was sharing how the more she has done the forgiveness exercise in that course, her life has completely transformed. She's seen so many shifts financially. So why would doing something as simple as forgiving start to clear your finances? So the exercise is kind of like very long. It takes them weeks and weeks to do, but it's okay, you know, because I have them go through this whole intense exercise of going into their emotions. So obviously, because I'm all about sitting with the emotions, right? So they have to explore their emotions. Before they even get to forgiveness, they get like this entire intense exploration of being with the whole emotions of all the things that they feel towards a particular situation or person. But the reason for that is because we no longer keep ourselves in this energy of being owed and we are the victims and we are in debt, and that allows us to forgive and to wipe off the debts that we feel that others owe us, and that shows up in the physical realm of our lives as well, right? So, okay, so this actually turned into a video around forgiveness and receiving. So I hope this makes sense, right? So guys, let me know if this makes sense as to why receiving is so key. I mean, the other part of receiving is that the more that we're able to receive with grace, the more the universe is able to give to us, right? Because we're sending the energy, we're sending that, yes, this is what I want, and we're receiving with grace. But I know for us, like I said, in South Africa, it's part of also why we feel the need to give so much to family members, because we haven't learned truly how to receive, because we see being given as a debt. And maybe start having those conversations, because it's not just affecting you on a financial level in terms of paying family members, but it's also affecting energetically in terms of like money not being able to stay, because we've got these energetic debts that we've been putting out to the universe. Okay, so have a fantastic day and wish me luck. I will keep you guys updated. Yeah, I'm just breathing for now, just breathing. I'm going to sit with everything that comes up, go back to meditate, and yeah, I'll just spend about an hour in meditation and see what comes up, and then maybe I'll do a money magic meditation, and yeah, hopefully I get to Vietnam, but most importantly, hopefully I negotiate the final venue for the retreat, for the second part of the retreat, and sort all those venues out before I leave Sri Lanka, because it's always better when you can call people, right, and have conversations. Anyway, namaste. Let me know your thoughts in the video and what you thought of today's class. Did it make sense? Is it resonating? What do you want me to expand more on? Bye. Okay, how do I end this live video?